Twitch is one of the hardest to understand companies in the world when it comes to the TOS. The fact that there are multiple premium partners that are streaming obviously copyright infringing content on the front page of this website for days and days and days at a time should show you how confusing the TOS is on this site.
Totally agree.
The fact that we just went through 2 weeks of people not knowing if you could talk about a saltine cracker or not without getting banned should show you that this website is completely inconsistent when it comes to which rules. Yeah. So don't give me this like, oh, don't you say you tell line? No, this is my job. If I know what I'm allowed to say or I know what I'm not allowed to say, I'll say it or I won't say it. It's really that easy. It's not a fun game for me where I'm all nepotistic with my little fucking friends in my office and I know that I can get banned if I do dumb shit. So if I know where the line is, I won't cross it. But this garbage ass website doesn't give you that information at all. So don't sit here and tell me that it's so obvious and I push it so often. If I know where the line is, I won't cross it. I'm not getting banned on YouTube and everything all the fucking time. It's only on this garbage website. Who the fuck knows why you might get banned any given day, depending on who sees your report, depending on what partner manager catches what, that I actually end up in a lot of trouble. So chill. djWHEAT talks about Destiny for 15 minutes, 27:43. Oh boy.
Have some history, right? Like, a bit goddamn. But anyway, quote me if you violated TOS. What are your thoughts about Slasher and Destiny's discussion about you 2 days ago? I did see it. Someone, actually, multiple people, sent it my way. Said, hey, did you?
Damn.
Did you look at this? And
these can be broken down. Cake. This could be massively cheating. What does one of these give you? Unbelievable,
clearly
Cake.
Steven and I have some history, right? Like, going all the way back to inside the game, and if there's one thing that I've done a lot of over the last year as I have been preparing to leave Twitch, it has been reflecting on everything, right? Like really just thinking about the beginning of Twitch, why I joined Twitch, where I was personally at when I joined Twitch, what was going on in esports, relationships that I've had with creators, a lot of different things that you can imagine. Some of it is like suddenly remembering something that happened or an experience or meeting someone at an event, etc. So, I mean, I think a part of that is absolutely my history with Steven and many other creators. So I guess here's my thoughts on it, is that I would love to actually be able to have a conversation with Steven. I'd love to be able to sit down and, talk about some of the things that he talked about, that Slasher talked about. And, when I thought a little bit about that reflection, one thing I realized is, I don't think that I've ever really interacted with Destiny outside of being a Twitch employee. Now, you might be like, well, that's not true because inside the game and Destiny, but I was a Twitch employee, right? I learned about Steven, right, in the early days of Twitch. He was streaming StarCraft 2, League, etc. Steven was definitely one of the individuals who was like pushing non-gaming content, and even got like tagged in warnings a lot for doing it. I always actually hated that because I thought it was silly that a broadcaster couldn't just like talk to their audience. But anyway, and I think that probably has some really deep-rooted conflicts in terms of that I am representative of the man. And my thought is that like certainly Destiny had some strong words.
How long would it take to break this?
How he felt about me, and I don't necessarily fault him for that. I do know that he was. I'm sorry. I don't know this. It is my perception from viewing this clip that Destiny was pretty upset about the comment that I made. I think it would have been April of 2021 when the hot tub stuff was going on, and then Destiny got banned, and I made a shit post about losing a debate, and I think that he had some, you know, some problems with that. And that's fair, right? Like, I am a Twitch employee. I'm also a creator. Like, being a Twitch employee doesn't mean that I can't shit post. Was it inappropriate? You know, I don't think it was that inappropriate. I thought I was just shit posting. I totally understand.
Did you ever talk to djWHEAT about your issues with him, or did you get mad at each other and never talked? So a long time ago, Rod tried to get me and Marcus to make peace with each other at a TwitchCon. I don't know if it was a TwitchCon or an E3 or what, but I remember that at night, me and him went to some bar, and Marcus was there, and he was like, you should just go talk to him and like clear the air between you two. And then me and him went, and this was in like 2016, I think. Me and him had a decent chat. It seemed like the thing that he got the most upset about was that after the fallout of our big fight on that show, he felt like he got a lot of harassment publicly, and he felt like it. Now, this isn't true, but I understand the feeling. He felt like it all came from my community. That my community was just hounding him and shooting him like years later. And I didn't know that like 5 years after that convo, he was still carrying that like burden on his shoulders, and that he still felt like he had that thing that he was at. So we talked, I apologized, I thought everything was kind of chill. It seemed okay. But then we never like spoke again much after it. I feel like something else came up where I thought, wait a second, does he still hate me? And then years later, when he's on that show, he made that comment about like, oh, Destiny's somebody that's always like pushing the line or whatever. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? So yeah, I don't know. And then I always hear things behind the scenes about people trying to like fuck with me, but I don't know how much of that is true or not true. I hear some things and I later find out they're true. I hear other things and then I'm not so sure sometimes. So, yeah. Hey.
What?
I have a job for both of you. Come, look, I have something really fun for us to do. Look.
Because I'm putting 100%.
Let's go. Oh my God, let's go, guys.
Oh, fuck off, dude.
What did you hear? What things did you hear that turned out to be true? Well, like, so for instance, like Richard Lewis, like pushing through every back channel he had to try to get me banned from Twitch when we fought a long time ago. That's one thing that turned out to be true. Although me and him are good now. I wish I talked to Richard Lewis more. He seems like an interesting guy. Technically, if I'm gonna be charitable to djWHEAT here, and that I was the first one to push for a lot of our content, I got in trouble for it, that is actually true. I just never knew I was getting in trouble for it at the time. So for instance, is this true? Hold on, was I the first person to ever do a cell phone IRL stream? Does anybody know if that's true or not? Because I'm trying to think, if I was, how would I have even used it? Like, what software or tech would I have even done it? Because if you guys remember a long... Oh, I was, and I remember how. Never mind. I was, and I remember how. I called myself on my phone via Skype, and I used the camera function. That was how we did it. Yeah. So a long time ago, I would stream. Someone would be like, all right, we're going to get food, guys. I'll be back. And then I would Skype. I would stream myself, and I would call a Skype phone, and I would drive to, like, McDonald's or whatever. That's where we learned about the secret 3 right turns to avoid a left turn trick. But, like, so for instance, like, I think during a couple of those streams, I got in trouble for those. Like, an admin would shut my stream off, and I'd have to restart it, and then he'd leave a negative note on my account. But nobody ever actually told me. And I didn't find out until years later, I think when I had an account manager when Twitch started that. I think I was like, hey, you know, you have like 6 or 7, like, you know, notes on your account about like discipline. I'm like, wait, over what? And he's like, well, here's like, you've done like this driving stuff multiple times. And I'm like, the fuck? I've never gotten in trouble for that. And he's like, well, what do you mean? This says here they shut your stream. I was like, oh, I thought my stream was just like disconnecting. Nobody ever reached out to me and told me I was in trouble. So technically, Marcus is correct, or djWHEAT is right there in that, I guess I was pushing it early on, but I just never knew. Nobody ever fucking told me. But.
And how, right, from a creator looking at it and having a Twitch employee say that.
Oh, also, way back in the day too. Actually, I think Marcus is more correct here than I initially thought. Maybe way back in the day too, when I was first starting politics, and when I was like kind of like chatting, I think about like either political stuff or science topics or philosophy or other things. It wasn't necessarily gaming content, and sometimes I would either not fill out the category, I think, or I would just have it in Starcraft, but we'd be like chatting about stuff. And technically back then that was against the rules. There was no like chatting section or just chatting section or anything like that. If you were in a game category, you had to do that. And I think I remember back then I would get in trouble a couple times because people were like, you can't just be talking to your audience or whatever. You have to be like playing a game or doing something. I'm like, whatever. So he might actually be correct on that as well, now that I think about it. Don't chat on the StarCraft section, please. Yeah, unironically, though, I think. Oh, I was also the first person on this platform. It feels weird to say first person because usually that didn't mean anything, but I guess this is like an older platform now. I think I was the first person on this platform to get banned for DMCA as well. A long time ago. I was watching To Catch a Predator, and I got DMCA'd by NBC. And it was a 2-week ban for that. Oh, what's up? You never used the community-made driving stream overlay. Oh, this was my GTI, so this must have been way back then, yeah. Holy shit. Oh, and my really old logo, Destined 4.
That he, you know, he didn't like that too much. That's fair. I would even go so far as to say I would apologize to Steven for that. If it bothered him, you know, that much, I would apologize. But I think that Steven misrepresents me when it comes to like our relationship and if I have actually had any sort of effect on him as a creator at Twitch. Right? So 2 things. We've never had a conversation that hasn't been, you're a Twitch employee, I'm a creator, right? He clearly has problems with Twitch. He talked about a little bit in that video, the TOS, the how some things are unclear. He made a comment, which really resonates with me, is like, if I know the rules of my job, then I can do my job, right? So, and that's all fair. But I don't think that it's fair that some of the animosity he has towards Twitch, procedures, rules, etc., are put on me. Now, he did specifically bring up the way that hot tubs, that messaging was handled. Well, that's a whole nother conversation that I want to have with him. I think that it's, I understand that he thinks that I probably should have had better comms, had better things to say, etc. I don't think Steven knows that, like, I wasn't the last line of communication. So what I was trying to do, but that is impossible, right? So that's never going to be something that ever gets resolved unless we can have a conversation about it, right? So those are my initial thoughts. My other thoughts is that, you know, I know that there have been times in my 10 years at Twitch that I have specifically gone out of my way to try to help Steven. And look, we live very much in a now, you know, status quo society. Whatever's happening in the present is the things that we're talking about and the things that we discuss. But I found emails where Steven was expressing a lack of relationship with Twitch. And him and I sat down at PAX West 2015 one night and had a conversation about it. Oh, this was when I reached out. And that led to me going to the partnerships team and saying, you know, we need to build a better relationship here. And then that led to me introducing him to Anil and John Howell, the head of partnership. So, you know, it's like, I think there's two different perceptions on
wait, why can't I build stairs here? Seriously?
May have existed over the last few years. And again, I only think that's ever going to get resolved if we have a conversation about it. So, you know, I'm a fucking reasonable guy. Like, yes, we have, it's like, I don't know, I've seen that clip of you yelling at Destiny. It's like, everyone's seen a clip of a creator yelling at another creator. Like, this is fucking nothing new, everyone. Like, I don't understand. The fact of the matter is, like, I'm a pretty reasonable guy. I'm an open book. Gonna be even more open coming in 7 days. So I'm you know, I'm hoping that we can have a conversation. But did what Steven said in this clip with Slasher, did it bother me? You know, it bothers me more that I feel misrepresented in it, but everyone is allowed to have their opinion.
All right, I think that's fair.
But that's where I yelling is the thing that gets clipped most of the time. And you know, it's not unusual for someone to be judged off of a few clips here and there. But like, I know what I've done for Steven over 10 years. I'd love to be able to have that conversation. And if he truly feels like I have wronged him in any way, then I want to apologize to him for that, right? Because I don't think I have ever put a creator, like, that is against my own philosophies when it came to the role that I had at Twitch. Just curious, I think the most inflammatory remarks were about the so-called unprofessionalism. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it. Just want to hear your thoughts. The so-called unprofessionalism, I'm not sure which part exactly you mean. If you mean the like the starting the shows and doing the shows, like, that's yeah, again, we got to talk about representation, right? I was one of the only people at Twitch that said, why are we not communicating with our creators better? Why did we stop doing this? You know, and I took it upon myself. And, you know, people can say you failed, you didn't do it right. You know, one thing I can say definitively is I got Twitch at least to talk more to creators than they were 3 months prior. Proud of that. Now, did that mean that we were still able to say the things that creators wanted to hear? Abso-fucking-lutely not. And I took a big bullet on that one. Fair enough, right? I was still going to try to do what I thought was going to be best for creators. Take full responsibility for all that. But the fact of the matter is that the goal of that was to at least try to get Twitch to be having more conversations with creators. Are they still there? You know, there's a lot of still work to do there. I wasn't able to give my true takes on that. And that was disappointing. But that will change.